Hey, I want to welcome you to LearnSoftwareCoding.com. If this is your first time on the channel, I want to encourage you to subscribe and to hit that notification bell so you always know when we upload new content that can help you that are developers or you're aspiring developers. We believe that we have content here that will definitely help you to be a better software developer. Well, today, this is going to be focused more so for those who are aspiring software developers, someone who's really trying to get their foot in the door in the industry. And we're going to talk about what language should you learn if you don't know anything about programming, you don't know anything about software development. What programming language should you learn? So let's talk about it. So for me, my very first programming language that I learned in depth was Java. I went to the University of South Carolina, and one of the very first courses that I had to take was a Java course. And as a result of taking that course, I learned the basics of programming logic, how to think logically when you're trying to solve a problem. One of the things that I always want to stress when I'm mentoring up and coming software developers or talking to someone in general, our job as software engineers, software developers, programmers, whatever you want to call yourself, is to solve problems. And by learning that language, Java, it gave me the fundamentals to be able to take what I learned with Java and apply it to any language. So my answer to that question is, what program language should you learn? It should be, I think you should choose the language that you want to learn. If there is a specific project that you want to do and you think it would be better to do in a certain language, choose that language. Some languages are easier than others, I think, to start off with. But generally, all programming languages have the same basic logic or the way that you approach solving a problem. The only thing that will be different is the syntax. Now, when we talk about syntax, we're talking about how we actually go about writing our code within the particular text editor that you are using. We'll talk about text editors a little bit later, but right now we're just focusing on what language you should choose. I chose Java, and Java was I didn't choose it. That's what I had to take when I was in school. But Java, it provided a good, solid foundation that I could take to use within PHP, C#, JavaScript, and even Python. So when you learn one language, it really helps you to be able to learn other languages. So you may not be an expert in all of the languages, but you can generally solve problems, create applications, fix issues, whatever it is that you have to do with that particular language, because you have the fundamentals. The fundamentals have been set because you have taken the time out to understand logically how to approach different things. Just about in every language, even with SQL. If you're using transactional SQL, you can use if else statements. In just about every language, you're going to have some type of looping concept that you can use to iterate through data, while loops, things of that nature, arrays. If you learn one language and you truly understand the concepts of how to approach a problem, how to deal with things, you can take that same mindset and apply it to learn other languages. And as a result of that, look, with Java, it took me a while to really get a good grasp and a good comfort level to say, that I can actively program in Java, have a problem set, have an assignment, and I can do what I need to do using the Java language. When I want to learn another language, the learning curve was so much easier because I already had something to fall back on. I could fall back on my knowledge using Java. So I say you should pick a language, learn it inside and out, learn the basics of it, and that will help you to be a better software engineer as you begin to learn other languages. So what would I suggest? Me personally, I suggest that you would start off with something like C#. You can download Visual Studio, the Community Edition. That's a great way to start with Community Edition, and you can begin to learn the language. That's one way that you could really start to learn the concepts and the fundamentals of programming. You could also start off with learning JavaScript. There's so many boot camps and things out there online where you can learn JavaScript. And most of us have a computer. If you have a browser, you can practice, you can learn JavaScript, and the same concepts, fundamentals you can apply to any other language. Another good language I'd say to start with would be Python. If you have a Mac, if you have a Linux machine, you more than likely already have Python installed on your machine. Now there's different text editors that will make it a whole lot easier versus just using the command line or the console, but you can use Python. Python is a language that a lot of universities are using now in their 100 level classes. So I say just pick a language, learn it inside and out, become very proficient with it. And then once you do that, then try to, generally you're going to have projects that you're going to try to achieve as you're working in the language of your choice. When you figure out how to complete that assignment, pick another language. You'll see that if you pick another language, it's going to be the same type of logic that you're going to use that you used in whatever language, the first language, that you're going to use in the second language to achieve that same kind of result that you did when you completed your first project. So I would say pick one language. I would suggest C#, JavaScript, or Python. I think those are great languages to start off with someone who really wants to get their foot in the door in the IT industry as a software developer, because when you learn one language, it makes it very easy to learn another language. And to all you software developers that just know one language and you don't want to venture out, stretch yourself. I want you to challenge yourself to pick up one new language in this year, and you will see it will make you a better developer. Hope you enjoyed this little short video. I would love to hear your comments, and I will see you in our next episode. Take care. God bless.